Hello, welcome back to Comic Flip. Today we're doing a recap review video of The Electric Black. This is published by Scout Comics. It is created, written, and illustrated by Joseph Schmeckel and Rich Woodall. So in the first 2 pages we're introduced to Julius Black and someone named June. And it's established right away that Jules and June seem to be working together. June is complaining that she's bored, and Jules is like, well, make yourself useful, here's a list of things to do. And then he jokes at the very end, we're gonna expect a run of customers very soon. The next page, we're introduced to a character named Sully Daniels who has just stolen June's purse. So clearly they're setting this dude up. He's running away and he finds some valuables in there. Sully is planning on pawning them off at a shop. And then all of a sudden, a shop appears called the Electric Black. And he enters the pawn shop, quote unquote, and we find out that he is a drug dealer. And basically it says, tonight Sully Daniels will find a way to silence the cravings for good. So Julius Black introduces himself as a proprietor, clerk, and slave to the House of Wonders, Electric Black, at your service, and he hands Sully a card. And he's trying to pawn off the items he just stole, of course. And Julius is like, don't worry, everyone who comes in gets what they deserve. This is not your typical pawn shop. We don't want your nice jewelry. So while Sully is in the shop, he picks up a compass or a piece of jewelry. And yes, Julius is like, oh, that's a nice piece you have there. And he says, this was rumored to be a compass used on the Orion sky before changing hands several times and landing at my humble shop. And then it jumps to the story about the compass and the rat ship. Jules is telling Sully the story in real time, and we're getting the actual story in comic book form. So the Orion Sky is actually a fishing vessel, and you're introduced to this crew of people, and they're trying to catch fish, but they pull up a lot of dead rats. And the crew's kind of making fun of that fact, and then they get a distressed ship SOS call. So they pull up near the ship, and they board it, and they're going through and no one seems to be there, and the crew is exploring the ghost ship when they come across gold, and they're like celebrating. They're like, yes, we're taking all this back with us. But then the rats start attacking them. Actually, it's kind of a gruesome image. The rats are living inside the eye holes and mouth of the person on the ship. But then it cuts back to Jules talking. He's like, that's the last anyone saw of the gold or the mystery ship. There's an old saying among the seafaring people that the sea provides the wanting with all they need, and it did for the rats. Then it jumps back to present day, and he's like, no, this is not what you're looking for, Sully. I have just the right thing. And Sully's like, well, sir, I really just want to trade this off and get money. Jules finds this box that he was looking for, and then he jumps into a story about Bixby's miracle drop. And the character in the story, Bixby, stumbles upon a magical tome, and in it has the recipe for eternal youth, or a potion for eternal youth that he creates and tests on a dog, and he finds out it works, and then he goes around trying to sell it until he finds out that there's a flaw with this elixir that he created. When there's a blood moon, whoever is on the serum goes crazy, so the dog gets the serum when there's a blood moon, and he attacks the guy. He has to kill him, and then the next thing you know, everyone who has bought Bixby's miracle drops are showing up at his door, and they end up killing him and tearing him apart. We flash back to the present, and Jules tells Sully that these miracle drops will cure what ails him. But Sully's like, hey man, you just told me that stuff's gonna kill me. There's no way I'm taking that stuff. Then we're introduced to this character named Jack, who kills Sully, and Jules tells Jack that when you're finished, bring some to Roy. He's starving down there. So I don't know who Roy is. Maybe he's some kind of wolf or dog or something. And on the last page, Jack pulls up, it looks like skin from Sully, and there's a symbol on it. And then Jules says it's been over 300 years since they've seen the symbol. Things are about to get interesting. And that's how it ends. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. It's definitely Tales of the Crypt meets Twilight Zone. I'm interested in learning more about the secondary characters. We didn't get that much about June. We were just introduced to Jack. Interestingly, they all have J names. I wonder if that will come into play in the future. And then you have Roy, who is down in the basement. I wonder what kind of beast Roy is. I don't think I'd pick up issue 2. I'd probably wait for the trade to come out and just read them all at once. Overall, I'm very happy I picked up this #1 issue. If anything happens to it down the line, I could totally see this as a Netflix series. It would be a good one to try and flip. I'd give this book a 3.5 out of 5. Let me know in the comments down below what book you want me to review next, and I'll catch you guys in another video.